Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, joining me for this morning gentle yoga. Um, Today, I wanted to focus on our breath. Um, the breath is a time-honored practice, been going on for a long time, and it's one of the really, really helpful skills that researchers in particular are showing us can be a really great vehicle for mindfulness and awareness and being present, as well as working on calming the nervous system and our mind and things like that. So um, today, I wanted to focus in particular on um, the pairing of breathing and movement. So we'll be doing some just regular, good old fashioned just breath work, a little bit of body awareness and a body scan. And then pretty much the rest of the practice will be working to pair our breathing with our movement um, in order to just feel like letting the breath determine how quickly the movement occurs. So, or not, the speed, I should say, of the movement. So, as usual, if the movement isn't serving your body's needs in the moment, feel free to skip it completely and do something else or simply rest. One of the most important things we can do in conjunction with breath work is to make sure that after we've done some breath work, making sure we give ourselves time to absorb and integrate and rest after having done that movement. So I want to invite you to any seated shape or any relaxing or restful shape, quite frankly, that works best for you. And find just a few moments to, as I usually like to do, just arrive in this moment. So setting aside any other distractions, setting aside anything we were doing up till now, anything that we might have later on, and still just kind of be here now, which is something that takes some practice, I find, and something that is also very, very valuable. So when your mind wanders, know that that's very normal and natural, and try not to judge it, try not to smack your hand or anything like that, because that's completely normal and natural, and that's exactly what the mind is designed to do. However, sometimes it's been shown that when our mind wanders, we're maybe not as happy or as content as we could be, and as we might be when we're just in the moment and present fully. So, whatever that means to you, see if you can take a few moments just to arrive here. Perhaps you'll want to close your eyes, bring all of your awareness just kind of inward a little bit, or just narrow the zone down a little bit. So rather than being aware of everything around, maybe see if we can bring the focus to just a bubble around ourselves and see if it feels okay to just notice what's happening right here and right now. Taking a few slow breaths, breathing in through your nose, maybe out through your mouth or your nose, whatever feels better. And see if we can just allow the breath right now to be an anchor for our attention. Tether yourself, tether your awareness to the breath of in and out. Maybe you want to focus where the breath comes in just through your nostrils. You might feel that cool air coming in. Maybe you want to focus instead on where you can feel the breath in your lungs. So maybe in your torso somewhere. Sometimes it can be helpful even to place a hand or two in that area just to focus your awareness, your attention on your breathing. You don't feel like you have to take any special kind of breath right now, but just breathe in a natural way that helps you feel present. And as always, when you find those distractions coming up, see if you can set them aside for now. Lovingly just set them down on the ground or next to you or anything like that. And come back to this moment and breathe a few more times. And then wherever you are, feel free to join me in taking a few community breaths together. To prepare by inhaling and exhaling. And then if you're ready to join me, feel free to inhale slowly. Pause at the top of your breath, just holding your breath in, maybe bringing your chin down just for a moment to kind of feel in your inhale. And then whenever you're ready, feel free to join me for an exhale out. We'll do several more of those if that feels okay with you. Feel free to join in. So breathing in. Again, maybe bringing your chin down very slightly. Feeling in your inhale, bringing in that energy into your body. And whenever you're ready, this time maybe bringing your shoulders up to your ears, bringing them up as you inhale, bringing just a little bit of tension into your body, maybe bringing your chin down if you want to feel in your breath. And then sigh out as your shoulders come down, your head comes back up, releasing any and everything in your body. Again, inhaling, bringing your shoulders up. If you have an awareness of your pelvic floor, perhaps you bring that up off of your mat, raising that up a little bit, tilting your chin down as you seal in your breath. And then releasing all of it, your shoulders, your chin, and again, letting your pelvic floor rest. 3 more of those if that feels right in your body. Feel free to skip any part of the tension that's not right for you. So maybe shoulders up, inhaling through the nose, long inhale, and maybe tilting your chin down, filling up your torso with air. Maybe your pelvic floor lifts. And then whenever it's right for you, bring the shoulders down, release, let gravity take over and release all tension related to all of it. Couple more if that's okay with you. Inhaling up, shoulders towards your ears. Maybe your chin seals in that breath by going down a bit. Perhaps your pelvic floor raises. And sigh. You're ready. Just one more of those whenever it's right for you. Nice, long, slow inhale, shoulders coming up to your ears. Again, perhaps feeling it in, bringing your chin down, pelvic floor perhaps comes up. And then whenever you're ready, finding the right rhythm for you. And then with those breaths, I want to invite you to take any restful shape. So perhaps lying down on your back, perhaps a child's pose, whatever feels right and restful for you here and now. As I said earlier, with any breath practice, it's really important to take some time to integrate what you've just done. We just took about 5 or 6 breaths, but see if you can notice the difference, letting your body rest in this moment. Feel free to close your eyes. Again, noticing the impact of any and all of these practices, whether it's the mindfulness practice of setting things aside or breathing, or just being on your mat. Taking a few slow breaths here. And whatever restful shape you're in, I want to encourage you to set yourself up well for this shape. So if you're laying down on your back, maybe make sure that your head is in a comfortable place. Perhaps support it with a block or a blanket or a bolster if that's helpful for you. Or just position it in the right way. Maybe move your head side to side a little bit just to prepare. Maybe work your way down through your neck and shoulders. Sometimes when we get into Shavasana, our shoulders might end up alongside our ears, and see if it feels okay to bring them down. Bring them down away from your ears in any way that feels restful and relaxing for you. And from there, just set up the rest of your body on down. So working your way down your back, making sure your hips are in the optimal placement for relaxation for you. Working your way down your legs, making sure your feet are restful and relaxed. It can be a moment to do a brief body scan, just paying attention to how your body's feeling in this space, in this moment. Setting aside any distractions. There might be plenty of them. See if it feels okay to just let them go. Give them attention if needed and set them aside. And continue to take a few slow, restful breaths. And from here, we'll start some of our movement, moving very gently and slowly. See if it feels okay. If you're not already on your back, please work your way there, finding a restful shape there, and bring your knees toward your chest, taking your knees in your hands and gently just rocking a little bit side to side. Doesn't have to be a big movement, but as you slowly breathe, just take your hands around your kneecaps or around your shins and rock a little bit side to side. And for our first movement with breath, I'm going to encourage a couple of options here. Maybe start by just putting your feet on the ground. So give yourself a little bit of space from your hips and see if it feels okay to just have them feet on the ground. And then maybe take your arms up over your head. You can have your hands working toward each other. Maybe your fingertips might touch overhead. And from here, I want to invite just moving back to the shape where we were in, where your hands were on your knees. So maybe inhale, bringing your knees up and wrapping your hands around your chin. And then exhale, open back up. So this is kind of the foundation of what I mean by breathless movement. So inhaling, bringing your knees into your hands, and then exhaling whenever you're ready. Don't move until your breath is ready to move. See if you can pair those together, inhaling up and then exhaling back down. So just a very gentle movement, not a ton of movement here. And then bringing your knees toward your chest, holding them in your hands. Just gently moving your hips and bringing your arms back up overhead. If it doesn't feel good to have your arms overhead, you can definitely keep your hands along your sides if that's better for you. See if that feels better, if there's any shoulder issues or anything. Continue to inhale your knees up, exhaling back open. You can also just extend your legs all the way back out into Shavasana if that's better for you. Maybe bringing your knees, your legs all the way up as you inhale, and then exhaling back open. I encourage just a few more of these, opening and closing your body with the inhale and the exhale. Coming back to the full wind pose here with your hands wrapped around your shins or knees. Maybe rocking side to side once more. And whenever you're done with that, feel free to place your feet on your mat again. But this time, maybe put them about to the edges of your mat. So they're going to be pretty far apart here. And then whenever you're ready, we'll let your knees fall to one side. I'm going to move to my left first. Your hands can be anywhere you want, maybe overhead or just alongside. Take up a little bit of space if that feels okay. And just letting your knees fall to one side. See if it feels okay to just rest in this shape for just a few breaths. Notice how your breathing feels when you go into a tiny, tiny little twist here. And then on your next inhale, bring your knees back up through center and then go the other direction as you exhale. Again, letting your knees fall to the other side. I'm going to my right side for now. See if your upper body can remain about the same. Notice any differences between the right side and the left side. And then making kind of a windshield washer type shape. See if it feels okay to go inhale up, exhale to the side. And whenever you're ready to inhale again, bring them back up and then exhale to the other side. Feel free to match my speed or tempo here, inhaling up, or go at your own pace. Exhaling to the side, inhaling up, and moving to the other side, finding the right pace for your breath. Again, letting the breath dictate how fast and far we go. Inhaling and exhaling, whatever movement feels right for you. I'm going to invite you into about just 3 or so more breaths. And then whenever you're ready, feel free to step that aside. Bring your knees back up towards your chest. Maybe taking your shins in your hands and maybe move your feet around your ankles. Give them a little bit of a rotation or a love. Maybe you'll flex and release them or just move them in circles. And then setting your feet on the ground whenever you're ready. Setting up for a figure 4 shape here. So in order to do this, feel free to place your hands anywhere you want, maybe along your side, and take one ankle and put it on the other knee, kind of like you're crossing your legs if you were seated. Like try to keep your ankle just past your knee. And this can be enough. Perhaps you want to press your knee away from you a little bit, and that might be the movement or the shape that you want today. Otherwise, feel free to bring your other leg towards you. You can take your thigh in your hands, maybe interlacing your fingers underneath your thigh. Maybe you want to go further and put them on the other side of your shins. It'll all depend on how your hips are feeling. But once again, the most important part of this shape is the breath. So wherever you want to settle in, see if you can take 5 slow breaths. And over the course of your 5 breaths, see if you can notice how the shape changes. The tissues in your body, see if they make any adjustments in this shape. And I really want to encourage relaxing any muscle groups that don't need to be engaged here. So your hands need to be working, of course, maybe your arms and even part of your upper body. But see if we can let our legs just release. Your feet, your toes, your legs. And pull your legs closer to you if you want, if that's right for you and your body and your hips today. Otherwise, release your tongue, your teeth, your jaw, your temple. Maybe just one more slow breath here. And then before you completely release this figure four, set your foot on the ground and see if it feels okay to lean, twist forward your non-bent side. So whatever side, if you have your right leg on your left knee, twist to your left, or vice versa. So twisting away, and see if it feels okay to just let your foot settle on the ground and your other knee might settle on the ground. So twisting into the shape. And if you're twisting to the left, take your arms up and to the right, away from your twisting body. So still laying on the ground, going up forward, your arms up toward the corner of your mat, opposite away from your twisting leg. If that side stretch here isn't feeling right in your body, feel free to skip it and just settle into the middle of your mat into this gentle twist while you breathe maybe 2 or 3 more slow breaths. And then whenever you're done with that, feel free to bring your arms back down, bring your body back to center, set your feet on the ground, and then set up for the figure four on the opposite side. So I'm taking my left foot and putting it on my right knee. And again, maybe you want to push your left knee away from you a little bit. Or perhaps you want to bring your right leg closer to you. See if you can really settle back down onto the mat once you've set up your figure four. And once again, our goal here is to really relax any part of our body that doesn't need to be engaged. So anything that's not required to find this shape. And release and relax. About 5 or so more breaths in this shape. Letting go anything that's not helpful, anything that's not useful. The exhale is a really wonderful vehicle for releasing and relaxing. So when you notice the tension on the inhale, see if you can allow your exhale to just let that go. Breathing out that tension. Letting go of whatever might be just held on to in this moment that doesn't serve your needs. And then whenever you're done with that, feel free to set your foot back on the ground and twist in the opposite direction. So again, setting your foot from your bent leg, the one that's crossing your other one. Set that foot down off to the side. And then again, if you want, feel free to move to the opposite side, opposite top corner of your mat. Might take a little bit of work to finagle yourself into that corner, but just take your time. And then once you're there, just relax back into it. Settle down into this shape. Again, releasing any tension that's not necessary. So if your legs are holding any tension to try to hold a shape, see if it feels okay to let that go. If you fall out of the shape a little bit, probably just fine. Breathing and relaxation are our main goals today. Don't worry as much about the shape that you're in. And then whenever you're ready to release that, feel free to come back to center, bringing your knees back up, setting your feet on the ground, and then just to kind of go in the opposite direction, bring your feet up toward your hips, maybe pressing through your hands and your feet into a bridge. Just one of these, just to reset, go in the other direction. I like to do these after twisting sometimes. Pressing through your hands and your feet, bringing your hips up toward the sky, and then releasing that whenever you're ready. And I invite you to bring your knees into your chest once more, maybe rocking a little bit side to side. And then whenever you're ready, we can also start to rock a little bit forward and back. And take your time. We're going to work our way just to seated. But I want to encourage you to do as many of these rocks forward and back as feels right for you. Maybe holding onto your legs if that helps. Rolling the full length of your spine. Maybe inhaling if you come up, exhaling back down. And then whenever you're done with that, feel free to find yourself in a seated shape. As we adjust to being seated here, I want to take a little bit of time with our head and neck. So whenever you're ready, feel free to start some slow neck rolls. So moving your head around in circles. Very gently. And wherever you are in terms of the neck rolls or any other neck release, I encourage you just to breathe. Breathing in and out, nice and slow. Perhaps you inhale as you go around one direction, and then exhale as you come through another part of your roll. If you haven't already, feel free to reverse your circle or whatever direction you're going or doing. Feel free to just take your time and very slowly work your way through this. Again, perhaps inhaling on one part of the circle and then exhaling on the other part. And then whenever you're done with that, feel free to let your head fall forward and just relax your head forward. See if you can keep a nice tall spine, but let your head relax forward into gravity. If you want, you can even place one or both of your hands on the back of your head, not pulling down so much, but just providing a little bit extra weight. Again, see if we can sit up nice and tall, keep a nice tall spine, but let your head fall forward. Breathing slowly in and out. Maybe about 2 more breaths here with this slow release of the back of your neck. And then I invite you to just roll your head gently to the right, toward your right armpit. Like you're going to give yourself just a little bit of a sniff just to check in. And maybe take your hand on the back of your head, gently allowing your head to come even a little bit farther toward your armpit. And maybe just check in with your opposite shoulder. So see if it needs to be relaxed down. Sometimes it might pop up when we go in one direction or the other. See if we can just allow that opposite shoulder to relax down as much as possible. It may come up a little bit. That's okay. Sometimes the tension there, whatever might cause that to happen, that's just fine. But see if we can just allow for as much relaxation in your opposite shoulder as possible. While you breathe in and out, sitting up nice and tall, check your posture. And then whenever you're ready, release your hand and let your head fall back down towards center, just to reset for just a moment. And then move your head toward the other side, toward the other armpit. Again, maybe bringing your left hand toward your armpit, or toward your head rather, to bring your head a little bit closer to your armpit. And once again, check in with that opposite shoulder. See what you notice there. Taking a few more slow breaths. And then releasing that whenever you're ready. And before we move on to our arms and our wrists, I'm going to invite you to bring your head up and start to look up. And as you do so, open your mouth. And then when you're all the way looking up, close your mouth. And then on your next exhale, release that back down. And we'll do that 2 more times if that feels suitable for you. So again, starting by looking down, start to bring your head up. As you gaze up, open your mouth. And when you're looking up as far as you want to look, close your mouth. And just one more of those, letting your head fall back forward whenever you're ready. Bringing your head up. Open your mouth. And when you're done moving your head up, close your mouth. And release. So maybe a few shoulder rolls here, just release those, rolling them backward. And then whenever you're ready, maybe go the other direction as well, rolling forward, maybe getting your arms in on the action, maybe starting to roll them forward like you're doing kind of a breaststroke even. Breathing as you go. And then quickly, we'll just do a little bit of work with our wrists. So maybe rotating them. You can even interlace your fingers if you want and make little figure eights. Any movement for your wrist that feels right and helpful for you. And maybe just shake it out. And since we've been doing a little bit of work moving our body, pairing our breath with that, I want to encourage just taking a moment just to sit. We'll be getting up and moving here in just a moment. So before we do that, I just want to invite just noticing any and all impacts of this very gentle movement and rest we've been giving ourselves. A lot of breathing, a lot of release, a lot of relaxation. See if you can just notice the impact, the really profound impact that can sometimes have. We sometimes push ourselves to do lots of movement and exercise and things like that. And that's great. That's wonderful. There's a time and place, but there's also a time and place for just taking it slow and still having a really profound impact on our system. So see if you can notice any difference, even if it's discomfort from the work that we've done so far. And take a few more slow breaths. And then whenever you're ready, we'll move over into a tabletop. We'll be here very briefly, maybe rotate around a little bit more for your wrists, helping them out. And then when you're done with the tabletop, feel free to find your way into a downward facing dog. So flipping your feet over, putting your hands down on the mat. See if you can make as much of a V here as possible. Maybe you want to spread your feet as wide as possible, pedaling your legs, preparing your body for future movements as we work our way toward our first flow of the morning. Feel free to settle into stillness if that feels okay for you. And whenever you're ready, feel free to walk your feet toward your hands and find yourself in a forward fold. Moving nice and slow, and perhaps you want to pedal your legs here as well. And keeping your legs about mat distance apart, I want to invite you to place one hand in the middle of your mat and then reach up with your other hand, twisting open. Breathing in and out nice and slow. Maybe one of your knees is a little more bent to facilitate this. And then coming back down and moving to the other side. Opening up on the other side. So feel free to explore this shape, coming all the way up to standing very, very slowly. While I check on something. Okay. There we go. And from here, moving into a standing shape. And for the standing shape, we're going to work our way through a modified sun salutation. So sun salutations are, there's lots of different versions. So if you don't like the one I'm doing, feel free to find your own. If you know another one that you're more familiar with or feel more comfortable with. And it doesn't really matter what type of movement you do, but feel free to just join along with me. The focus, as I maybe have said a few times now, is really just on the breath and moving the body with the breath. So feel free to join me as we stand, and we'll pair our breathing an inhale or an exhale for each movement. So to start, we're going to stand in a nice tall mountain pose, breathing in and out nice and slow. As you prepare for this movement. And then exhale fully. And on your inhale, bring your arms up and alongside your ears, maybe even looking up toward the sky. And then on your exhale, diving forward. As you inhale, slide your hands up, your shins or your thighs, coming into a flat back. Exhaling all the way back down and pressing your hands into the mat and stepping back into a plank, lowering all the way down. That's a lot to do on one breath, I get it, but coming down to your belly on that exhale. Coming up for a low cobra, slight back bend, maybe your hands hover by your shoulders. Inhale. And then coming back down and pressing up into downward facing dog. And we'll be here for about 5 breaths. So feel free to pedal out your legs if you want. Or settle into stillness. And at the end of your 5th breath, whenever you get there, you can bend your legs, look up between your hands, and step your way back to a forward fold. And up into a half lift as you inhale. Exhaling all the way back down into your forward fold. And then whenever you're ready to inhale, come all the way back up. Bringing your arms up alongside your ears. And exhaling back down. And that's 1. And I'll walk you through another couple, and then maybe we'll do several rounds on our own, just following your breath and your movement together. So whenever you're ready, feel free to exhale fully. And on your next inhale, bringing your arms up. Again, maybe your gaze comes up to the sky with your hands. And then come all the way forward on your exhale, diving forward down towards your mat. Inhaling up into a halfway lift. And then exhaling, hands to the mat, stepping out, coming all the way down to your belly. Next inhale, come up for your low cobra, pressing your feet into the mat. Back down to your mat on your exhale and press up and back, downward facing dog. Perhaps pedaling your legs, perhaps not. Whatever you want to do, take a number of breaths here, maybe about 5. And then whenever you're done with that, feel free to look up between your hands. And as you inhale, step all the way forward and come up into a halfway lift. Hands sliding up your thighs. Exhaling back down whenever you're ready. And then inhaling back up, arms alongside your ears. And exhaling back into your mountain pose. Taking as many slow breaths as you want between, and I'll walk us through. If you refuse this time, inhaling arms up, looking up. Exhaling forward, all the way down. Inhale up, flat back. Exhaling, hands on your mat, stepping back. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale back down and push up and back. Taking several breaths here. Maybe you notice a difference in where your feet are on the mat versus before. Maybe your ankles come a little bit further, maybe not. And whenever you're ready, exhale and look between your hands, bend your knees and step back up. Coming into a halfway lift as you inhale. Exhaling back down. And inhaling all the way back up. Arms alongside your ears. Exhaling arms. I invite you to do a couple more of those. And I will do them at my own pace. I want to invite you to do your pace. Again, with that friendly reminder of see if we can allow our breath to dictate the speed or the slowness, whatever that means to you, of this experience. So take a few breaths to prepare. And after you exhale fully, feel free to move. See if you can just make this one continuous motion as you breathe and move. Don't worry if you don't remember exactly the sequence. Just move your body with your breath in whatever way feels helpful for you. Continue to inhale and exhale. Again, seeing if you can keep your body just moving with your breath. Nice and slow. I'm going to go through this one more time. We'll just meet back up in standing in mountain pose whenever we're all done. Whenever you find yourself back in mountain pose, please just take your time again. Take this moment to stand at rest. And maybe notice any differences from before. See if you can settle into stillness. Notice how your body's feeling compared to where you were before. Allowing your breath to anchor you to this moment. Scanning your body, just noticing how your body's feeling right here and now. We'll do one more flow, but we'll only do this one a couple of times. And again, the shapes, the movement isn't nearly as important as the breath. So do whatever feels best for you and your body. I invite you to bring your feet a little bit closer together, maybe even bringing your feet together, if that feels okay for you. If balance is a concern, maybe you want to bring your feet a little bit farther apart. You do you. And from here, I want to invite you into a standing mountain, but with your feet closer together, wherever you find them that works best for you right now. And whenever you're ready, we'll move into a chair pose. So we'll go through this first one, doing each shape, and then we'll do it with the breath. So first, just bringing your knees together, bending them to whatever level feels comfortable for you, and bringing your arms up alongside your ears. We won't be here forever, I promise. And then whenever you're done with that chair, feel free to dive forward into a forward fold. So from here, we'll step back into a warrior one. So I'm going to start with my right side, stepping my right foot back, setting up your feet, and then bringing your arms up alongside your ears for warrior one. Find the right space for your legs that feels right for you, bending your front knee, bringing your hands alongside your ears. And then from here, we'll open up into warrior two. That will be our exhale, just so you know. And from here, we'll turn to the side and open up into a star shape. So bringing your feet parallel to each other and bringing your arms up, just make a big old star. That'll be our inhale. And then we'll fold all the way forward. So your butt can lean way back, straddling. You can have your hands on your feet. You can have them on your mat, whatever feels better for you. See if you can let your head, your crown, really point toward the earth. Allowing your legs to support you in the shape. And then from here, we have an optional chest opener for the breath in. So maybe interlace your hands behind your back and bring them forward. And then whenever you're ready to release that, bring your hands down toward your mat, bring your feet closer together and come into a squat. If coming all the way down is not right for you, feel free to just be up higher, maybe just in a forward fold. So we'll just be here. It's just one breath, I promise. And then whenever you're ready, come back up into your forward fold on the side of your mat, and we'll reverse all of this. Opening back up into a star. And then we'll go into warrior two, but pointing it toward the back of our mat. So pointing this direction this time, whichever way you weren't facing before. Bending the opposite leg this time. And then we'll go into warrior one, so bringing your arms alongside your ears, facing the back of your mat. Legs stay about the same. Your hips might point a little bit more toward the front. And then stepping your feet together and coming into your forward fold, leaning all the way down. And then coming up for your chair, bending your legs, bending your knees, bringing them together, arms alongside your ears. And then standing back up into a mountain pose, but at the back of your mat. So if you've ever done my class, you know I love a little symmetry. So we could do it all again, but going in the other direction. So still facing the back of your mouth. Do whatever feels right for you. There's no wrong way to do it. And then from here, let's see if we can pair our breath with our movement this time a little bit more. So as we inhale, coming into chair, bending your knees, arms alongside your ears. Exhale, forward fold. Whenever you inhale, step back with your other leg coming up into a warrior one. It doesn't really matter which leg. We're going to do both sides, so don't worry about it. And then whenever you're ready, opening your arms up into a warrior two. Keeping your legs about the same, your hips might open a little bit more to the side. And then as we inhale, we'll move to our star. So feet parallel, facing the side of our mat. See if you can really reach in all four directions. And then when you're ready to exhale, come all the way forward into a straddle forward fold. Again, see if your crown can come toward the earth. Inhale, open. If you want, you can add a chest opener or just stay in the forward fold, whatever feels better. And then when you're ready to exhale, come down into your squat. So exhale and inhale here. And then placing your hands on your mat, going back into your straddle forward fold. Inhaling all the way back up for a star. And then bending toward the front of your mat, bend your front knee and move into warrior two. I like to bring my arms a little bit above the horizon line, hips open, gaze can go whatever feels right. And then bringing your other arm alongside your front one, coming up into warrior one. And then we'll step our feet together and move into our forward fold, coming all the way down as we exhale. And whenever you're ready to inhale, come up into a chair, arms alongside your ears. And then standing all the way back up as you exhale. And I invite you to do this just one more time. I realize that's actually two more times. But if that's not right for you, feel free to skip it altogether. See what feels best for you today. It'll go by much quicker because we'll be just doing the one breath per movement per shape. So whenever you're ready, feel free to inhale into chair. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back into warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, open for star. Exhale, forward, straddle forward fold. Inhale, chest opener if you want, or just stay in a forward fold. And then exhale down to Malasana. Inhale as well here. And when you're ready to exhale, come back to your forward fold. Open up all the way into a star shape. And then we'll move into a warrior two, the back of the mat. Inhale for warrior one. And then step forward into a forward fold as you exhale. Inhale up into your chair pose. And then exhale back to mountain, facing the back of your mat. Let's move one more time through that little sequence as we right our way back up to the front of our mat before we take the breath. So feel free to come into your chair pose as you inhale. Then exhale all the way forward. Inhale, step back for warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Open up as you inhale, star pose, side of your mat. And exhale all the way forward into a straddled forward fold. Open up if you like into a chest opener with your arms locked together. And then come down into your malasana as you exhale. Take another inhale here as well. And then come back to your forward fold. Inhale, open into star. And then open to the front of your mat, warrior two, bending your front knee, whichever side that is for you. Move into warrior one as you inhale. And step your feet together at the top of your mat, folding all the way forward as you exhale. Coming back up into your chair pose, bending your knees on your inhale. And then for the last time, standing back up into mountain as you exhale. I just want to invite you to take a few breaths here, resting and relaxing into this shape, into this moment. Feeling into this, noticing how your breath is. Taking your time. And from here, we'll move into any kind of seated shape. Taking the rest you need. Feel free to lie down if that suits your purposes better. I'll wrap us up today with a breathing meditation. And I want to invite you to, as we go through this together, just to take what works for you and set aside what doesn't. So what I'll do is as we inhale, I'll offer a concept or an idea, a word, maybe a mantra. As you inhale that, feel free to take that in if that serves your purposes, and if it doesn't, feel free to skip it. And just allow that to fill you up on the inhale, and then the exhale, release anything that isn't working. Letting the word or mantra, if it's right for you, just really fill you up and fill up the space made by all the work we've done today. So feel free to join me if that's right for you. Otherwise, skip it and just find any restful shape that's best for you. And prepare by taking a slow inhale and exhale. And as you breathe in trust. Letting that fill you up. And exhale whenever you're ready. Nice and slow. And next we breathe in understanding. Letting that fill your cup. And release whenever it's right for you. Breathe in honesty or truth. And breathe out, releasing whatever is unhelpful for you today. Next, breathing in self forgiveness and exhaling, releasing whenever you need to, whatever. Breathe in confidence and exhale whenever you need to. Breathe in happiness or joy. Let that fill you up before releasing whenever you're ready. Breathe in kindness, taking that in from wherever you are and releasing whenever it suits you. Breathe in balance and exhale whenever you need to. Breathe in courage and release whenever your breath is ready to release. And finally, breathe in self compassion, sending that throughout your entire body and releasing that whenever you're ready. And I'll invite you into a few minutes of self reflection and rest. Feel free to use your breath as a tool to help yourself and rest and relax your body for just a few minutes, taking the time that your body needs and that whatever's right for you. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. Feel free to take some slow breaths and rest your body. Whenever you're ready to come out, know that I am grateful for your presence today. I hope that you will utilize your breath as you move through your week, taking your breath with you wherever you go. Trying to remember how things felt for you on the mat so that you can take it off the mat with you. And take good care. Be well. Namaste.